guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about my experiences with the black-eyed children. So back in 2002, I lived in an apartment complex that had a very seedy past. I lived there for 1 year and I could not wait to get the hell out of there because every single night there was always something going on. Some things I didn't tell people because I kind of felt like they would just think that I was crazy or think that I was, making things up. So I kind of kept a lot of it to myself. I did tell people like small things here and there, but I never got into detail. This is a story that I never told anyone for fear of people thinking I was crazy. So back in 2002, I worked the 5 to 1 shift or the 4 to 12 shift. So this was on a night that I worked the 5 to 1. So I think it was either on a Friday or a Saturday night. So I got home from work, and the way this place was set up, it was like a square. It was a square shaped. So I lived on the second floor, and I could clearly see the pool and kind of like a little sitting place where they would have tables and chairs. So I'm standing on my balcony, and this was about 2, and I see 2 little kids walking by. It was really weird because it was a little boy and a girl. Now, the little boy, I would say, looked to be about 5, and a little girl probably about 6. And I was just kind of standing there thinking, I wonder why their mom and their dad was letting them walk around at 2 in the morning. I just kind of thought that was weird, but who knows? People are weird anyway. So I just kind of brushed it aside, and then I was standing there, watching them, and I turned and I looked back and they were gone. So I kind of figured that maybe they went to one of their units. So the next day, I go to work, and I get home, and this was a night that I worked the 4 to 12 shift. So I take it was on a Sunday. I think it was on a Sunday night. So I went inside, I changed, and I grabbed myself some wine, and I'm standing on the balcony, and I'm just standing there. It was a beautiful night, when all of a sudden I felt like there was somebody staring at me. So I turn around and I look, and I see the little boy that was walking down below the night before, and I just look at him. Now, I love children, so I was a little bit shocked that there was a little kid that was standing right there in back of me at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what is this kid doing? And then I was kind of worried for him because I thought maybe that he needed help. Now, it was really weird because his head was down. His head was down, and he was dressed in what seemed to be clothes that were not from our time period. So this was back in 2001. So he looked like he was dressed in kind of it looked like the 1960s kind of look. He had on bell bottoms. It was really weird. He didn't look like he fit into this decade. So I was looking at him, and he had his head down still, and he's not looking at me. So I didn't know, maybe he was shy. I don't know. So I looked at him and I said, hi. And I got this very uneasy feeling. It was a very uneasy feeling. It was a feeling of dread. I don't know what it was, and normally kids never give me that feeling. So it was a feeling of total dread, and all of a sudden he says hi to me, but he's not looking up at me, which I found to be so weird that this little kid wasn't looking at me. So I'm like looking at him, and then he looks at me. I kid you not. His eyes, the whites of his eyes were black. There was no whites in his eyes at all, and his eyes were really big. And he was just looking at me, and when I looked past him and looked down below, there was the little girl that was with him, and she was downstairs on the steps, and she was looking up at me, and I look at this boy, and I'm like, oh my God. And he said three words to me, 4 words. He said, "Can you hug me?" And I just looked at him, and I was like, and I just stared at him. I've never seen anything quite like this. And I looked at him and I said no. And I immediately turned, got this feeling of dread. I turned on my back on this little boy. And when I turned back around, he was gone. And the little girl was gone. And there's no way that they could have vanished like that. Like, there was no way. Number one, when you walk down these stairs that the girl was on, they made like this creaking sound. You could have heard it. Like, you could not have heard this sound. So when I turned, they were both gone. It was literally creepy as all hell. Now, the weird thing all about this child was that he gave me this feeling of dread. A feeling of dread, a feeling of that something bad was going to happen. A feeling of like, I wanted to run. I was getting such bad anxiety looking at this little kid, and I couldn't figure out where the hell he came from, why his eyes were black. I was like, this is so weird. So I go inside my house and I go on my computer, and I'm like Googling all these different things, and I came up with the black-eyed children. Now, nobody really knows who these children are. Some think they're aliens. Some say that they're like demons that show themselves as children, because children are less menacing, and people are more willing to trust children. So if a demon shows up as a child, you're more willing to kind of like trust them. It was so weird, but this kid's eyes were black, and they almost looked like they was so dark, there was no light in them. It kind of looked like he was there, but he wasn't there. It was literally creepy. And so from like that day on, I kind of feel like the black-eyed children were more creepy than the shadow people, because these were little kids that were walking around with these black eyes that came out of nowhere, and they wouldn't look at you until they were ready to. And it was weird because I kind of felt like they were trying to make me do things that I didn't want to do. I know that sounds weird. I felt like they wanted to get inside my mind and like manipulate me. Like, that's the feeling that I got. I don't know what the hell they were. But, oh my God, I wanted to come on here and just kind of talk about it a little bit. I wrote down some notes, but I don't think I'll be needing these notes because I kind of just said it all. But yeah, I mean, there have been so many people that say that they see these beings. Like, are they demons? Are they aliens? Are they just lost souls? What are these kids? It's just literally crazy. Anyway, if you have had any experience with the black-eyed children, Please comment down below, and thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.